Good evening. My name is Betsy Blanks. I'm the Vice President of Business Operations at Austin Woman, and I'm so excited to welcome you to our inaugural Austin Woman Fashion Show in partnership with ACC Fashion Incubator. We have a wonderful show planned for you tonight, but before we get started, I wanted to make sure and recognize our sponsors who really made tonight happen, starting with Alpha Schools, our runway partner, whose support of Austin Woman is truly unmatched. You'll hear from Austin PBS as well as the Kindness Campaign later in the evening, but please join me in applause for their fashionista sponsorship of the night. I know we have all benefited from our food and beverage sponsors, Dip 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 Tatsuya and Boxed Wine. I highly encourage you to check out their brands following the event because I promise you will not be disappointed. Thank you to our supporting sponsor, Crash Gal Couture, whose clothing line for modern working women is something not to miss. Tonight would not be possible without the gorgeous models that you will see shortly walking down the runway, brought to you by Models of Texas with hair and makeup by Primp and Blow, all being recorded by ACCTV tonight. And last but not least, thank you to Blue Goo Bakery, Vogue Vignette, and Wink of Yellow for making our reception space such a joy this evening. Next, I want to recognize some particularly special VIPs that we have in the room tonight. This past September, Austin Woman launched our Connects Club, which is a membership-based group focused on helping women to build relationships, develop their leadership skills, and really connect with the Austin community. We have many of our founding members in the room tonight, and so would love to recognize you if you could stand at this moment. Now that I have already taken up enough of your time, and I know you're excited to see the fashion, please join me in welcoming one of Austin Woman's co-owners, as well as the president and CEO of Adisa Communications, Sharonda Robinson.
On behalf of Austin Woman, it is my greatest joy to welcome you here this evening. I am so excited because, as you can tell, I love fashion. And I think you all do too, right? Yes. And there was a young lady here, Sakia? Where are you, sweetie? Stand up, honey. She's the reason we're doing this. She wants to be a fashion designer when she grows up. And that's what tonight is about. It's about cultivating and encouraging our local fashion industry so that they can be seen and known and worn by all of you. So without further ado, we're thrilled to be able to host our fashion show at the Austin PBS studio. How many of you, this is your first time here? Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Come back. Please join me in welcoming one of the amazing team members of Austin PBS, Ms. Sarah Robertson, the Chief Content Officer.
Thank you, Sharonda. And Sharonda is a former board member of Austin PBS, so tonight is very special for lots of reasons. But we are so thrilled to be able to invite you to our space. This is our first fashion show, so we're very excited about that. It's also our first studio collaboration between Austin PBS and ACCTV. So a big congratulations to everybody who has been working for weeks and months to bring all the details for tonight together. I feel like our new building was designed for a night just like tonight, a night that brings community together, that honors creativity, that will leave us inspired, and because we're your local PBS station, that's our mission. So we're just so thankful that we have a small role to play in tonight in honoring the best and brightest of Austin fashion. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Sharonda and Sarah. I know I mentioned briefly that ACCTV is recording tonight, so with that being said, if you could please put your phones away and enjoy, especially for the video afterwards, so would greatly appreciate it. So I'd now like to introduce a phenomenal female founder who is revolutionizing education. The school she built, Alpha School, our presenting sponsor of tonight, has received national attention for its innovative approach to learning. Mackenzie is also the co-founder of 2 Hour Learning and sits in the Forbes Council of Technology. She's a Stanford grad and a mom to 2 amazing girls. Please welcome Mackenzie Price.
Hello, everybody. I have to say, this is a first, a fashion show. As an educator, I didn't think this would be where I would end up on the stage, but I'm so excited to be here. Thank you to Austin Woman for putting on such an incredible event. Yes, give it up for them, yes. So one of the reasons that I'm so excited about being at this event is this gives so many people a chance to showcase their creativity, their artistic expression, and I love that, especially when we can foster that in young people. And at Alpha School, we do all of our learning in only 2 hours. Academics in 2 hours, raise your hand if you would love that, would have loved that when you're in school. That frees up the rest of the day for our students to do incredible things, develop life skills, and pursue their passions, and you're gonna see more of that in a second. But check out this video to learn a little more about Alpha.
At Alpha, every student does a masterpiece project.
My ambition is to redesign high fashion with my personally designed, sustainably crafted collection.
Just as traditional galleries exist to display fine art, I'm designing the equivalent for fashion by building the world's first live model fashion gallery that gets 1 million annual visitors.
Alpha High School is now offering full merit-based scholarships worth $40,000 per year. We'd like to invest in your future. Apply now.
So an example of the things that our students get to do, we have 2 students here who are passionate about fashion, and we're going to show. The first is Chloe Curtis. I want to introduce Chloe. Come on up. Chloe is modeling a design that she designed and created herself. Keep going. She's inspired by Coco Chanel because Coco Chanel was amazing at breaking boundaries and pushing things. She's also inspired by her love of music and Taylor Swift. Anyone guess what album this is in reference to? Lover. Yes, very good. Very good. So Chloe is 12 years old. She's doing incredible things in the fashion world. This is one of her designs. She's done many designs so far, and she's excited. I cannot wait to see what she does later. Thank you, and Chloe's here. Next up, I want to introduce Wade Driscoll, and I'm going to hand the mic off to Wade because I have an even more important job to do right now, which is model the outfit that he designed and created for me.
So Mackenzie, my lovely model, is wearing my newest design. It's inspired by a very traditional menswear suit, but I wanted to bring some fun and playful elements, so we added a white taffeta pleat, and my favorite part is the removable skirt, so you can put it on anything. Thank you.
I love my job. This is amazing, right? How cool is this? But thank you. I hope you have the best time, and I hope that more and more young people can be inspired to do great things when they have the time and freedom to pursue that. Have fun. We've got the next thing coming up.
You can pass it here. I feel like I don't need to see a fashion show anymore because I'm so impressed. Thank you, Mackenzie and Alpha School, for your amazing support of Austin Women and everything you do for our community. Now it's the time we've all been waiting for. Please join me in welcoming fashion designer, founding director of the ACC Fashion Incubator, and our February cover woman, Nina Means.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to see all of you here. What you're going to see tonight is really the culmination of the first 4 years of us building the Austin fashion industry here. We have seen so much incredible talent here, and I hope that you all are here to enjoy it. Our designers are building industry, and they're really putting Austin on the map. So we're so proud of what they've done so far, and we look forward to so much more. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
The next person I'm going to bring out needs very little introduction, especially to this audience. She is a recognized leader in Austin and has been bringing attention to the incredible women of our city for more than 20 years. We are proud to call her our co-founder and co-owner. Please join me in welcoming Melinda Garvey.
Oops, Mike. Good evening. I'll just talk really loudly because I know we're running a bit behind, but there's so many amazing fashions. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's super exciting with our inaugural fashion show. We appreciate you being here, being our guinea pigs, and I hope you're enjoying it. And it's really amazing because not only are you getting to see amazing fashions, but we're really showcasing these emerging designers. And I am super proud to welcome Nina Means to the stage with me. We didn't want you to leave tonight without getting to know a little bit about this powerhouse behind the ACC Fashion Incubator. So please welcome Nina.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and of course you probably recognize her if you got a peek at the cover out there, so you can really dive into her incredible story in our cover story, but I just wanted you all to let you know a little bit about her. She is the inaugural director of the ACC Fashion Incubator, a program that educates, incubates, and accelerates business-minded, creative entrepreneurs in the fashion industry. She has 20 years of cross-industry professional experience with over 10 years of experience in design, education, and business development. So we're really, really excited to have her here tonight, and we've got just a few minutes. We're gonna probably be up here maybe 10-ish minutes. This is gonna be like a power interview, okay?
Excellent.
But I want everybody to get to know just Nina and about what she's doing at the incubator because it is really so incredible. So when we think of Texas, we don't always think of fashion first. So we're super excited, but I would love to, for you to sort of, when fashion, you hear the word fashion, what comes to mind? I was thinking about that tonight and thinking that I probably would never wear my mother would call hot pants. Tonight, but I was like, well, it's a fashion show, and if I can't wear them here, I can't wear them anywhere, right?
Exactly.
So tell me, when you hear the word fashion,
now's the time. I love it. Fashion
what comes to mind?
It's the perfect opportunity for self-expression. You're like, this is my moment to tell the world who I am, and I'm not gonna hide, I'm not gonna shrink. This is my moment to shine.
That's awesome, amazing. And I would love just to hear a little more. So you're the inaugural director of the Fashion Incubator, and there are probably a lot of people in this room that hadn't even heard of the Fashion Incubator prior to coming here. So I just want to, what is your mission? What are you all trying to accomplish at the incubator?
Well, our goal really is to propel the Austin fashion scene really to the same level as you'd see with New York, Los Angeles. I mean, Dallas and San Antonio and Houston are doing such incredible things already, but what we really believe that Austin has a very special place for is sustainability, technology, and really being the leader in how do we do fashion better.
Well, I know that you talk about in the story, when you all read the cover story, it talks about representation in fashion. And of course, our whole issue is actually dedicated to BIPOC women in fashion. And we did that very purposely. We really wanted to showcase some amazing women here in Austin. So I would love for you just to talk about that representation in fashion and what Texas and Austin needs to do to have more of that.
Absolutely. I appreciated the experience I had, switching my career into fashion. But when I went to work, I was, one of a few, people of color working in the office, and I think that, unintentionally it has an effect, sometimes intentionally. But I think that for what we have an opportunity to do here is that we are building the fashion industry on purpose in Austin. And so everything that we do has a reason for being, just like every piece that we walk down the runway has a special place in the collection. And so I think having that diversity, having all of the beautiful colors, all the beautiful silhouettes, all the beautiful sizes is absolutely critical for us to really do something that makes a lasting impact.
Well, at Austin, when we call that, you got to see it to be it.
That's right.
That's so true. So thank you for being there and representing. It's super important. And I know you've worked in, you got to read the story. It's incredible because she's worked in not only New York, which you might expect, right? But she's also worked in Italy, and of course now Texas. So let's talk a little bit about what makes Texas unique. Like, what have been some of your hurdles where you're like, seriously, people? and then what have been some of the things that have been like really surprising, like, wow, these Texans are super cool. Like, they're really fashionable.
Whenever I moved to Texas, I think whenever you're not from here, all of the typical, stereotypes that Hollywood puts forward about Texas is kind of what people think about first. But let me
have a lot of that. The stereotypes do hold true in this, right? We've seen it. You're kind of like, wow, that really happens here.
There are some, but I think that one of the things that I really appreciated is that women are really, and people, are craving, more products that really speak to them. I don't know about you guys, but I had a hard time finding clothes when I was shopping. I was like, I want to find something that's special. I want to do something that was, and so I was like, okay, well, this is why I'm a designer. Is because
you have a hard time because you're tall. I have a hard time because I'm short, right?
we all are having a hard time, but I think this is an opportunity for us to do it better. I think Texas is really, I love the color and the silhouettes. I think people really, show up with a full range of color here, and I love that.
That's awesome. And let's talk a little bit more about sustainability, because we hear the buzz about sustainability in fashion, but I think sometimes it's hard to get your head around what does that really mean, to have sustainable fashion. Mm-hmm. And can you just talk a little bit about the incubator and how you all are really leading the charge for that?
Absolutely. Our focus is really to bring fashion technology closer to makers earlier in their process. And so if you think about what happens when we sample, products, I'm gonna try not to go all the way into the weeds about it, but, we really are trying to make sure that we're not creating extra waste when we're building out our collections.
And it's expensive too.
It's incredibly
hard for a designer to launch because of the expense.
It really is, and you'll see one of our designers in the next set who uses almost all 3D technology to test a lot of her products before they ever come to be. And so she's got avatars that are completely fit to anyone's body shape here, and she can test it digitally before she even sees one sample. And so the amount of money and time and carbon footprint that she's completely erased is unreal.
Yeah, you've all been to those sample sales, right, where you're like, really? What were they intending for this?
Exactly.
Okay, so what words of encouragement would you give to these up-and-coming designers who are maybe interested, like there's a young woman out there who might be interested in joining your incubator in the future? What words of encouragement would you give for those up-and-coming designers? And of course, we've got some amazing designers here.
Yes, we do. It's so exciting to see what the new guard, the new class of fashion minds are creating. They're fearless. They don't know what you can't do. And so it's the best time to really push the envelope. They're like, yeah, of course I've got 1 million followers. You're like, what? How did you do that? And so this is really the best. I can't wait to see what comes forward. Every time we open up our application for the next round of designers, we take on one new cohort every fall. So we'll be opening it up at the end of the spring. Every single year, the talent just keeps climbing. And there's just fewer people to turn away because by the time they've come to us, they really know what they want, and they're incredibly talented. I'd say keep going. Don't take no for an answer, and try all of the things. Like put all of your heart into what you're doing.
So what's kind of up and coming for the Fashion Incubator? You've gotten it going. You've got a couple cohorts under your belt. What do the next few years look like?
Well, our goal is really to scale and serve more people. We've really taken a stand on really having a very tight, intentional cohort, where we just have, 6 to 8 brands that we really pour a lot of resources and energy into so that you get the quality that you're seeing. We still really stand by quality. We don't want to, run behind, product that hasn't really stood its own test. And so we want to make sure that what we put out for Austin is that people know that they can trust that the quality that we do is top notch. But whenever we look at what the incubator can do, our scaling, I think, is really going to come through, our alumni, how they're growing and hiring people and building the industry, how critical that is. And I think that, we'll see a lot more workshops and things that are available for the community to participate, as well as more events for people to really learn about our industry.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give a little plug. For those of you, I know there are lots of fashionistas in the room, and for those of you who want to get involved and support the designers, the ACC Fashion Incubator is a 501c3, and I know there are ways to support designers. So we'd be happy to hook you up with Nina, but it's super important that we support them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, one last thing before we leave the stage and get back to the second half of the show. So what's one easy, just tried and true fashion tip that you can give us all here today? Like that as women, like what's one tip?
Okay. Always give 25% more than the occasion calls for. I think we've heard this one, right? Just a little extra. But also pick a power attribute. Is it your shoulder? Is it your waist? Is it your leg? Is it your arm? Like, what is your power attribute? And that is the thing that commands your attention when you walk into the room, and really lean into it. Focus on it.
In other words, wear hot pants.
Hot pants. These legs, I'm telling you, that is your power attribute. So yes, absolutely. So really lean in.
Thank you. Well, thank you all so much. And please give it up for Nina Means. We're super excited for the second half of the show. And I just want to give a personal shout out to Mackenzie Price and Alpha Schools for being our presenting partner. Thank you so much. And of course, PBS and the Kindness Campaign for all of their support of this as well. So, all right, we will get back to the show. Thank you all.
So Paul's like, Get it. Look at him. He's getting his hands up. Eat it up. I saw him at the Grammys. He's always so fun.
amazing show. Before we wrap, we do want to take an opportunity to introduce you to all of the fabulous designers you saw tonight. And to do that, we're going to bring out two more fabulous women. First, L'Oreal Sarkeesian. L'Oreal's expertise goes beyond just wardrobe styling. She's a force to be reckoned with, combining her passion for fashion with philanthropy and earning the title First Lady of Longhorn Football. She's a true Renaissance woman, constantly surprising us with her many talents and ambitions. She believes that when you look good, you feel good, and she's dedicated to empowering others through fashion and confidence, and we are thrilled to have her with us tonight. Next, we have Andra Lamont, an Austin woman cover girl, winner of the Austin Women's Way Philanthropic Award, and CEO and founder of the Kindness Campaign, one of our sponsors tonight. A longtime voice for female entrepreneurs, she recently launched the Kind Leadership Program to mentor and support community-minded teenagers, our future kind leaders. The Kindness Campaign is also an active supporter of Austin Women and our sponsor tonight. Please join me in welcoming L'Oreal and Andra.
All right, how was that show tonight? Yes?
Let's give it up one more time for all of our designers. But before we go on, speaking of our designers, I do want to take a moment to say how hard, how vulnerable, how exciting it is to put your work on display. And that's what they did for us tonight.
Yes.
So give them another round of applause like you did and congratulate them.
Yes, yes.
And big shout out to all the models for trying to bring, or not trying, for bringing all of those pieces to life, because it takes everybody.
It does, and they were so fabulous. And you know, L'Oreal, you know better than anyone what it takes to put style on the map, and as a style icon yourself, we can't start in the evening, really, without asking you, what are you wearing?
Oh.
I know it's on all of your minds. Am I right? All right.
I really thought a great idea would have been for one of the designers to make me something, but given the circumstances and the stress they were already under, I figured I'd just do it myself.
I'm sure they're all back there going, phew, we're glad it wasn't me.
No, but they were great. But I am wearing Givenchy head to toe. I am a friend of the house. I am a partner of the house. I do a lot of events where I get to try to, they say I do, but I think I try to bring their collections to life and make them a little more welcoming for those that might not be as into high fashion as, you know, those that are. And so.
Approachable.
Yeah. Approachable. That's what I get to do. And given my Achilles injury, their boots have been bailing me out. They're comfortable, and I get to still be stylish. So here we are.
Yeah. You made that comeback look good.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm on the mend. March will make a year. So yeah.
Well, I couldn't stand up here tonight without a quick text this morning to L'Oreal and go, excuse me, but is this okay? So yeah, I know all of you style fashionistas and all of you in the room love style. So L'Oreal is such an icon, and we're so lucky to have her in our hometown. Go Horns, Longhorns, we love them dearly. Aside from style, something that I know as one of L'Oreal's friends is that you have a huge heart for fashion, for philanthropy. Fashion just comes naturally out of my mouth. For philanthropy. And so I know you've been working on something, and so would you mind kind of letting everyone kind of know about your new kind of endeavor that you've been taking on?
I should have known she was going to do this, but it's okay. I am trying to keep it near and dear to my heart, but I am in April going to be launching my foundation, XOLO Foundation. It means Hugs and Kisses Low. I don't know how many of you follow me, but I I always, after all my posts, I always say XOLO with my white heart. That is the purest form of me. That's me signing off to just that's my signature. But more than that, like I said, it's the purest form of me. I grew up in a house where I know what it is to feel love, receive love, to give love, and oftentimes that's not always the case everywhere we go. And so to be able to provide a safe space for that to happen through beauty and fashion, but starting from the inside out, because we look good, we all look great, but on the inside we could be dealing with a lot, and we might not always have the tools we need in that day to figure it out. So that is what the foundation will be centered around for women. I'm not leaving out my men, but it is definitely for all my women, not just young women, but all, because we're all doing life for the first time. And so I just want to provide a safe space for that to continue to happen.
Yeah, well, I love that. And I know that just having worked with you over the years and being a friend with you, that is coming from a real soft space, place in your heart. And I'm going to be a #1 supporter and just behind you all the way. And I'm sure Austin Women will as well. And all of you in here, you know, I know as we all take on new endeavors, like a lot of these young people did tonight, you'll want all of our support as well. So you've got my support.
I appreciate that. I love you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So much. And you, Andra, just like I love love, you love kindness. They are similar in a lot of ways, but I really admire and have been a part of TKC and what you're doing. But you also have a project that you're working on.
Yeah,
a new one.
so how many of you stopped by? I know there was a lot going on in the foyer out there, but we had the kindness campaign had a table, and I don't know if our young, kind leaders are still in the house. I don't even know where they are, but if you're here, can you give a little wave? Are my kind leaders here?
Oh, we can see.
I don't know if they were able to stay. I know a lot of them are still are in high school, but I want to tell you about the program. So if you had an opportunity to stop by the table, we have a program that's all about lifting up our future leaders and really building those long-term life skills for our future leaders to help them really provide a long-term platform for themselves and for our future. One of the big things that we do is provide a community for them to pursue their passions. Just like you saw tonight with a lot of these designers out here really forging ahead and finding their passions and showcasing them. That's what we do, whether we have young kiddos creating slime companies or planting trees. We provide that for them and pair them up with mentors and help them pursue that so that if they want to go off to college or if they want to make that a career path, they can do that by the time they go off and are able after high school. So it's a teen-centered program, and we're really proud to be able to offer that now. So if you have teens or know someone who does, I encourage you to reach out to the Kindness Campaign and get involved. But for now, I think
awesome.
we should...
That's awesome. Give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you. I think we need to be like really shouting out these young people tonight who
Absolutely.
have
We're
put
talking
themselves
about kindness and love. Let's
kindness
show them
and love.
some
Yeah.
kindness and show them some more love.
Yeah.
And introduce the designers. You got to see them, but putting names with faces to their collections is also important, so you know exactly who they are.
Yeah.
Starting with Lisa Hesberg, Loca House. She was the first one. Is she gonna come up?
Are they coming out?
Okay. They're not, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Rachel Banbury, Banbury Saints. Let's give her another round of applause.
Fanny Gunton, Lost Generation.
Yes. Aminta B. Cutler, Tometi. Yeah. Oh, yay! Come on out. Oh, my goodness. Come out.
Erin Torres, Sleep Never.
Yes. Come out. Take the stage. Carolyn Nash, G180 Swim.
There you go. And Nina Means. Nina Means.
Woo! All right, one big round of applause Thank y'all so much. Thank you for being here.
Congratulations. Thank you all for coming out and supporting these young designers. Have a great rest of your night. No, you good?
Thank you, ladies. That's fabulous. And real quick before you go, please feel free to grab another glass of wine. Really just want to thank our sponsors one more time. I also want to thank our Austin Women staff who's over here, Kip and Chelsea particularly, the amazing designers, all of our presenters. Stick around, shop, enjoy the rest of the evening, and thank you again for coming.